Everything we know about Tesla Autopilot. TESLA's electric cars can almost drive themselves, but the key word is almost. Debuted its semi-autonomous driving system, called Autopilot, back in 2014. It employs an array, originally offered as part of a tech package on the Model S. It's now a standalone option in both basic and advanced levels, and is available on all of Tesla's vehicles, including the Model 3 and Model X. The company has upgraded the technology with added capabilities in subsequent system updates, but Autopilot remains controversial. Responding to a series of accidents that occurred in which Autopilot was reportedly in operation, critics contend that some Tesla owners have a tendency to overestimate the system. Part of the problem, Cadillac released a semi-autonomous highway driving system of its own called Super Cruise for the 2018 XT5 sedan. Caddy's system of employing an array of sensors, the basic Autopilot system can maintain a safe distance from the traffic ahead via automatic throttle and braking inputs, and keep the car centered between the lane markers via ongoing steering adjustments. This version of the system requires the driver to either maintain hold of the steering wheel or at least grab onto it every so often to let it know he or she is paying attention. According to Tesla, Autopilot officially affords what's called Level 2 autonomy according to the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration's self-driving scale, in that the driver has to remain ready to take over as needed. Level 1 represents the full version of Autopilot, which costs $5,000 before taking delivery and $7,000 afterward, and that's on top of the above price. For the basic system expands the system's capabilities. Added features include Navigate on Autopilot, which enables semi-autonomous driving from on-ramp to off-ramp, with the ability to traverse interchanges, automatically change lanes, and overtake slower-moving vehicles. It also comes with, to quote Tesla's website, all Tesla vehicles have the hardware needed in the future for full self-driving in almost all circumstances, at a safety level we believe will be at least twice as good as the average human driver. The company says an upgrade is coming later in 2019 will enable Autopilot to operate on city streets, recognizing and responding to traffic lights and stop signs, and navigating roundabouts. A fully autonomous, to again quote Tesla's website, the future use of these features without supervision is dependent on achieving reliability far in excess of human drivers as demonstrated by billions of miles of experience, as well as regulatory approval, which may take longer in some jurisdictions.
Raindrop, drop top smoking, no cooking the hot pot. Fucking on your bitch, yeah, that. Looking up, open the park pot.